The most important Champions Tournament has just concluded. Historically, Victory Road tournaments have been the place where we see the major trend that then see regional level success as well. So we really want to pay attention to these results in particular. So as you can see, 1,039 players, crazy amount. You can see like first place getting 3k, second place getting 1.8, third place getting 1,000, 1,500 and so forth. Like it's a really big prize pool. Notice all the Milotic. Starting from top 16 here, Solar Web. We see a Kingambit, Garchomp, Gardevoir, Rotom, Talonflame, Mousehold. The Rotom with the Will-O-Wisp, again, so many physical attackers this format. You need to look at this team, literally. Like physical attacker right here, physical attacker right here. Will-O-Wisp, these two. Now you only have to deal with a Gardevoir, because Talonflame and Mousehold, while they're good supports, they're not really going to have the craziest output either. This Replica team was also shared by Toller on their Twitter, and then I also posted about it on the meta-analysis, so you can actually copy that Replica. Then we have the Michael Kelch team right here. Kommo-o, again, I told you the case for Kommo-o in another meta-analysis video. This mon is very good into specific teams. It's just very bad into Floette. So as long as you can position it around anything but Floette, you are golden. This mon is really strong, resists Charizard, at least Charizard Y. Yeah, now we have to specify. Scarf Garchomp, so you can click Rock Slide, you can scam people with flinches, you can also just be like a very fast Earthquake bot. Gengar without Perish, just straight up Gengar. It is super fast, you can Icy Wind stuff. Sludge Bomb can really hurt Floette. Yet another Rotom Wash with Will-O-Wisp still. Tinkaton, again, also mentioned in the meta-analysis. Kiyoshiro Arai, very interesting Floette balance team it sees, and oh, I am so happy to see this. Remember when I mentioned that I thought we would see a Floette that no longer runs Calm Mind do very well, just like saying fuck it, I'll click Light of Ruin and sometimes delete stuff, and otherwise I'll just Dazzling Gleam Moonblast. I don't need to set up, I'm gonna be more of a hyper offense piece. And we see it right here, getting top 16 in the most important tournament so far. Straight up, we are just seeing this Floette destroy stuff under Tailwind from Aerodactyl, backed up by other strong ones like Garchomp, Kingambit, Basculegion with Last Respects in the end game. Also a Charizard Y mode. I guess like it just depends on what matchup you're in. You're gonna bring one or the other. Also a very interesting adaptation here is Wide Guard on Aerodactyl. If you're afraid of getting Rock Slide scammed, you can just, you know, click Wide Guard. It's not always gonna be optimal because your mon doesn't really do anything either, but that gives you an option to play around getting scammed in some end games. Next we have Aaron Brock here with a Scizor. That's right, I've seen a lot of people asking for Scizor, so here it is. Again, honestly, a lot of pro players have been trying out Scizor. It's really solid. Might actually be in the top 5 of the megas. Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, just blow up Floettes like that. Close combat, fighting coverage is still very good. Then we have a Milotic set. There's a ton of different Milotic sets. Like I said, Milotic, kind of a sleeper mon that just over the last few days has really been rising. Whenever you have a Fire, Water, Grass core, Milotic might just be the water for you. Like it's this or Basculegion. We're basically in a Sea Snake format. Scald, Icy Wind, Live Dew is interesting. Like you can Live Dew next to your threats pretty cleanly. You also have Sinistcha doing Live Dew. Imagine you have like Milotic and Sinistcha next to each other and they like both click Live Dew and you just heal to full. And they're both so bulky, so neither of them is dying either. That sounds awful to play against. At least it's not Coil Hypnosis like we saw win the tour. Spoiler alert. And then Aerodactyl, Volk, Hydreigon. It's interesting that this is a setup Volk and then a Snarling Hydreigon as well. This thing must be terrified of Floette. But then again, your Volcarona is not, so maybe they kind of cover each other very nicely. In 12th place, we have this interesting Gengar Kingambit Kommo-o team. So once again, I believe in Kommo-o. Whenever you face a Floette, you just leave this behind and you bring your Gengar, and vice versa. That makes a lot of sense to me. Beyond that, we know all these pieces quite well by now. Protect on the Incindo, of course, because we have Perish Song, so you can still do the Perish mode as well. Then for the people actually into the top cut, an asymmetrical cut, we have the 3 Floettes here at the bottom. Like I mentioned in the meta-analysis, 3 made it to asymmetrical cut, and all of them were out instantly. Very sad. You have a pretty standard balance, but still it's important to see which pieces are actually working and which aren't. And oh my god, look at that. Another Light of Ruin Floette. I'm not crazy. I've been telling you, you don't have to set up with Calm Mind. It might be eventually the optimal way, but there is definitely room for just a hyper-offensive Floette as well. We have Aegislash, which is really cool to see. It's just such a good anti-Sneasler mon in general. We have Rotom here with Choice Scarf, Will-O-Wisp. Okay, so remember in my anti-meta mons, I was like, oh, Dragapult is really crazy with a fast Will-O-Wisp. Well, this Rotom can do the same thing. You might be locked into it then, but honestly, there's so many physical threats, you might as well just sit there clicking Will-O-Wisp into a bunch of stuff, and when you're done Will-O-Wisping or it's no longer positioned mentioned as well, just swap it out for your Insyn, swap it out for your Aegis Slash, you're probably safe as well. Really cool to see. I'm a Rotom Wash fan. It's just this really good gap filler mon. It's also just water, which is like, there's only a few really good waters in this format, I feel like. Then we have another, this one piloted by Marcus Ko. So this one does run the Calm Mind. We also see the Mega Scizor again, really cool to see. Beyond that, all the balance pieces we already know, you know, Insyn is just Sneasler, Aerodactyl. These four together are forming so many Floette balance teams, it's crazy. Also, you get a Replica team ID here if you want for the Floette balance team with the Rotom, Scarf, Will-O-Wisp. Then we have Konan Yoshikawa with Floette and Charizard on the same team. Again, this looks a little similar to the other team we saw before. Also, again, no Calm Mind. No Calm Mind Floette is real. No Calm Mind Floette is just an actual threat you have to respect. And another Wide Guard on the Aerodactyl, interestingly. So people are truly done with Rock Slide. And of course, you can also use it for Heat Wave. You can use it for Dazzling Gleam. You can use it for Earthquake. Like, you're definitely not just running this because you don't want to get flinched. It has other potential as well. Also against Blizzard spam. You know, some Frostlass are straight up running like Blizzard, Aurora Veil, and another support move. And so being able to just go, oh, Wide Guard, I guess your Frostlass just doesn't get to play the game anymore, is really solid. Especially because that can protect your Garchomp from the ice moves. And you're already leading these together anyway because of the Earthquake spam shenanigans. Next we have William Brown right here with Mega Meganium. So we've got some Meganium fans. I know, I see your comments. So you can actually pick up like a very successful Mega Meganium team right here. Interestingly, a lot of people thought, oh, Mega Meganium is going to be so crazy on rain. Oh, it's going to be crazy on sand. It's going to be... Nah, you can just run it on a balanced team, interesting enough. I don't know the speed of this Meganium exactly, but it's possible that it's kind of like a Tail Room type team, because you do have the Tailwind from Aerodactyl and the Trick Room from Farigiraf. So maybe if you make Meganium like slow and fast enough to where it can work in both, that would be very interesting. Also interesting to see is no Protect on this Kingambit. That's certainly a choice, but I understand why. Like, you want the ability to low kick other Kingambits, you want the ability to Iron Head other Floettes, you want to Kowtow Cleave Sinistchas, and you want to Sucker Punch anything that's, you know, too fast for you. So you want all these moves. So I guess the solution then is, I'll just not have Protect, and then if people want to click a fighting move into me, I'll just swap into Basculegion and be fine. Or maybe even to Meganium, you also resist fighting with that. Next we have Francesco right here, also with a Milotic on the team and a Scizor, these two rising stars. Of course, still running the triple threat right here, the Balance Gang, and a Charizard X, actually. And this is, again, a trend we've been seeing. Charizard X made it to finals. There's another Charizard X in cut. Charizard X is starting to grow rapidly. And again, Milotic sets can be very different. The last one we saw with Live Dew, this one is Recover. Scizor sets can also change. Like, the last one was Close Combat. This one is Bug Bite. We also see coaching on the Sneasler, so you can, like, coaching your Charizard or coaching your Scizor. Really solid that you can just coach both of your main threats. That way, you're also not that afraid of Incineroar intimidating either of them, because you can just, you know, coaching, you can close combat the Insyn, you can fake it out. Then Pedro right here with a Frostlass balance. Like mentioned in previous videos, Frostlass together with Sneasler, together with Kingambit, is just forming this really strong balance score. And it can be with Fire, Water, Grass, but it doesn't have to be. Like you can see here, it's still running the Garchomp Aerodactyl pair, a really oppressive pair. Click Tailwind and Earthquake, Rock Slide, GG. Interestingly, this one is Mega Aerodactyl. So it's choosing not to use the Sash because the Sash is on Basculegion. So quite a bit of a different set. This can definitely change how you play. Like, Megaing Aerodactyl is very spooky. Also Shadow Ball on this Frostlass, so you're not getting walled by Wide Guard at least. Now, Pedro themselves didn't post the ID of this team, but a friend of Pedro, Carlos Cabal, did share it, and then Pedro retweeted it. So it's possible it's the same team. It might be slightly different, but at least, you know, you can have a team ID here to play a team that's either very similar or that exact one. And of course, if you want to check out these players, you can literally click on their names here to go to their Twitter. That's how I'm finding a lot of this info often. Then we have the Hard Trick Room team. So this team was actually first after Swiss, which is also extremely hard to do. And it's essentially extremely aggressive Hard Trick Room. You have one fast Mon in Charizard, well, fast-ish, and then everything else is slow as hell. You're probably leading like Insyn Farigiraf, you fake out something, you set up Trick Room, and then these three slow things like Kingambit, Torkoal, Hatterene just blow stuff up. Also very interesting on this Insyn is Close Combat and Wide Herb. So opposing Insyn, who might think like, oh, I'm going to wall this Torkoal, oh, I'm going to Parting Shot the Hatterene, because you can actually Parting Shot a Hatterene, and then the Magic Bounce bounces them out instead of you. view. So opposing Incin, nope, you just stop the Intimidate, you close combat them. Next, Joseph Ugarte, of course, extremely good player, running the Sand team. Joe is always on Sun or Sand. That's his thing and he does extremely well with it. We also see the Corviknight, again, highlighted in the meta-analysis. Also highlighted in the anti-meta mons. This thing is a menace. This thing can run so many sets, can hard counter a bunch of the good physical stuff out there right now. It steals so walls Floette, really good mon. Hydreigon right here, of course, you don't want to face a Floette with this mon, but the thing is, your other first 3 mons are kind of stoked to see Floette. Of course, T-Tar itself isn't, but the fact that it's partnered with an Excadrill means it's actually quite stoked. So Corviknight Excadrill just takes out your Floette with relative ease. So you bring Hydreigon to other matchups, maybe you want to snarl like a Charizard Y. We see the Rotom Wash, again, I think Rotom Wash is not underrated because a lot of pros are on it, but it was just kind of like it was up, then it was slightly down, now it's back up again. I think it's real. And Mimikyu, I think Mimikyu is very real as well, actually. It's kind of underrated, not many people are on it. Being Fairy is crazy, Fairy is so strong. Being Ghost, you can't get faked out. Also the White Herb, so even Intimidate doesn't matter. Disguise is an amazing ability, so you really have to be hit twice to be ever knocked out. I think this thing is really, really cool. And you don't even have to run this set. You can also just run it with like a Trick Room setting type of vibe. Then Juan here with a Charizard Y team, a more standard one, I want to say, because you do have like the whimsical Charizard pair, which we haven't been seeing as much in this cut at least. We also see a Farigiraf to get rid of all the fake out and so forth. Sneasler Garchomp, we've seen it a billion times. Kingambit, we've kind of seen it a billion times. I'm wondering if the Farigiraf actually clicks Trick Room though. And Juan also shared the Replica team, so you can grab it right here. It's on their Twitter. And they also mentioned Kingambit Max Speed MVP. So this Kingambit doesn't even work in Farigiraf's Trick Room. I'm guessing you just never click it, maybe. Max Speed Kingambit is wild. Then for the finalists, we have the 2 Milotic sets. So we have Charizard, Tyranitar. So you're always kind of doing the physical big stuff, especially also with a Coaching Sneasler. We kind of saw it with the Charizard Scissor team from before. And then you have a Fire, Water, Grass core in Milotic, Incin, Sinistcha. I actually think Milotic, Incin, Sinistcha is going to be more common now. People have been doing Fire, Water, Grass with like Incin, Sinistcha, Basculegion, Incin, Sinistcha, Rotom Wash. I think Incin, Sinistcha, Milotic is like that next thing. And again, the Charizard X, very interesting to see that popping up again and again now. Taboo was nice enough to share the rental as well, so you can pick that up right here and have fun with it. Next, Hyungwoo Shin, the winner of this tournament. We are seeing the classic Charizard Venusaur. I think this lead is so oppressive. The fact that you can just sleep powder stuff in Chlorophyll, you know, double speed and just randomly win off it is so crazy. You do, of course, have to be careful. Like, people are always going to try and fake it out and then set Tailwind at the same time to try and take it out. You know, like an Aerodactyl Sneasler lead, faking out a Venusaur while clicking Tailwind, then dual wing beating the Venusaur. You're never feeling like super safe. There's like a bunch of 50-50s, but the fact that you get to choose to just swap out a Venusaur, get an Incin in, intimidate some stuff, fake out, click Heat Wave, like there's a bunch of 50s you force, and if your opponent refuses to force them, they are auto losing the game is crazy. Again, also a Fire, Water, Grass core, like we have a Milotic with an Incin with a Venusaur. Not quite the same type of defensive core as you would with a Sinistcha, but still the typing makes sense. Charizard Y, of course, crazy. Garchomp, crazy. Being able to go like Heat Wave, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Heat Wave, all that stuff is wild. The worst part about this team, and worst, I mean like worst for the opponent, is Coil Hypnosis. This is so annoying to play against. And then paired with Muddy Water, so you also have accuracy drops. This Milotic is like a gambler's dream and a consistent player's nightmare when they're trying to play against it, because they're gonna coil, then they can sleep you more reliably. Maybe they coil twice, and they sleep you even more reliably. Maybe they say, fuck it, I'm just gonna gamble, I'm clicking Hypnosis without a coil. Maybe they coil and then Muddy Water always hits and stuff like that. Like, this mon is a straight up terrorist. I hate it. But they won. It might become like the new Milotic set people are going to try out, and you need to be prepared for it. And then they also shared the paste on their Twitter. So once again, here is the paste. Again, all of these people's Twitters you can find on this page. I will put this page in the link in the description as well. Like, major shout out to Victory Road. Them together with all the organizers on Limitless is really holding like the grassroots tournament scene together. That's all for today. Hope you found it interesting. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.